Privilege of Coach Eddie McCluskey, and later, with just the memory of how he'd have done it guiding his successors. This Mercer County steel town has dominated the area's hardwood on a list of all-star players like Jimmy and Julius McCoy, former NBA star Jack Marin, Duquesne's Willie Somerset, and pit great Brian Generalovich.
Mr. McCluskey was naturally the greatest high school coach, I would think, in Pennsylvania, maybe even coast to coast. So many people looked up to him. While playing for him, naturally, he was very dedicated. He never asked you to do anything that he couldn't do or wouldn't do himself. He was an individual that was like a father to most of us, could be very rough on us at times to the point where he wanted you to bring the best out in what your ability is, what your potential was.
As with all great coaches, McCluskey was truly loved by his players, who often returned to ask his counsel long after their playing days were over. As father figure and teacher, the team was McCluskey's focus. Farrell won Pennsylvania state championships in 1952, 54, 56, 59, 60, 69, and 72 before he retired in 1976 after a WPIAL championship, his 11th. Last year's made it 13 in school history. The Farrell teams of today remain as McCluskey's legacy. McCluskey Gym has been the meeting place for generations of area fans, the stage for countless magnificent wins, like the amazing upset of Wilt Chamberlain's Overbrook High team back in 1955. It was Wilt's only loss at the high school level.
Yeah, well, I think, the fear of playing Wilt and his team prior to the game was quite high. And once the game started, I think we just forgot about it and kind of went after him. And I think we're the only team in Wilt's history in high school that beat him, I think that's the only game that his high school team lost. I think that's one of my fond memories in my high school athletics.
In 1993, the mills have slowed down. Enrollment at the high school has dipped below 250 in the top 3 grades. The area needs a new breath of life, but the spirit lives on with Farrell basketball. Tonight, 38 years after the mother of all wins, under present head coach Nick Cannone, who learned basketball the right way, playing on the 1969 state title team, the Steelers will try to revive some of that McCluskey magic as Quentin McLean, Chris Summers, and the Farrell class of 1993 take on the second-ranked team in the whole United States, according to USA Today. From Mouth of Wilson, Virginia, the Oakhill Academy Warriors. Welcome to Farrell High School's E.J. McCluskey Gymnasium. My name is Sean Doherty, and tonight on KBL we've got something very special for you in high school basketball, with Farrell hosting one of the best teams in the nation, the Oakhill Academy Warriors. My name is Sean Doherty. As I said, with me tonight, my partner Dan Donohue, the former Carnegie Mellon University star, played at Mount Lebanon High School. And Dan, this is something we talked a little bit in the open about, this Farrell team and its history of great wins. Of course, the enormous win over Wilt Chamberlain's Overbrook team. But what they're going to see here tonight is something that very few people have ever seen in high school basketball in this Oakhill team.
No doubt about it, Sean. We have a treat for our viewers tonight because this is a team that is a powerhouse, ranked number 3rd in the USA Today poll for whatever that's worth, ranked number 1 on ESPN. This team is loaded. They're from the mouth of Wilson, Virginia, which is, for our viewers, down on the border of North Carolina and Virginia. They travel around the country to play teams. They've already won the Virginia Tip-Off Classic, a Prep Classic in Honolulu, and the Las Vegas Holiday Classic. So this team is loaded. Coach Steve Smith has been at the school for 8 years. His overall record is 183-14. To get to that record, you have to have some players, and there's no doubt about it that Oakhill has some players. most of the glory and most of the headlines focus around Jerry Stackhouse, a 6'6" senior who has already signed, sealed, and delivered to North Carolina. Jerry averages about 23 points per game. He's been at Oakhill for the past year after leading his Kingston High School team to the state championship in North Carolina in 1992. Also someone you might want to look for is Jeff McGinnis, the 6'4" senior point guard who is also headed to North Carolina. Jeff averages about 15 points per game, and he led his high school team, West Charlotte, to the North Carolina State Championship in 1991. Two other players in their starting lineup are Maktar Nadayev, 6'9" senior, already signed, sealed, and delivered to Wake Forest, and Jermaine Smith, the 6'2" senior guard, who is already on his way to Nevada, Las Vegas.
It's quite an impressive lineup. As you said, you talked about Oakhill. Of course, Farrell will counter with a team that came off a WPIAL Quad A championship last year. This year, the Steelers have dropped down to the AA level. They are led by returning seniors Quentin McLean and Alan Davis, who both started last year and played very much on that Quad A championship team. But this is a team not quite as deep as you get a look there at Coach Nick Canone, who is in his third year as head coach here at Farrell. 61-14, very successful team. And this is a team that has a big win already this year over the infamous Newcastle High team, the Quad A team in Western Pennsylvania, that has had much controversy because of the players that they added to their squad from Texas. They did that here on this floor. There's a lot of magic in this gymnasium, and we hope we've got a good one here for you tonight. We'll be back after this message with the starting lineups. This game has been brought to you in part by JJ's Lighthouse on Division Street in Sharon. Stop in for their world-famous fish sandwiches on Wednesday and Friday, or grab one of their delicious steak sandwiches. That's JJ's Lighthouse, Division Street in Sharon. Well, welcome back to a sold-out E.J. McCluskey Gymnasium here at Farrell High School. We've got the Farrell Steelers against the Oakhill Academy Warriors. We're ready to meet the starting lineups. Starting at point guard is number 3 for the Oakhill Warriors. That's Jeff McGinnis. As Danny said, he's headed to North Carolina. At the other guard is Jermaine Smith. He'll wear number 4 here tonight. Jerry Stackhouse, he's the man. He's wearing number 5. And Stackhouse averaging 24 points and 7 rebounds a game through 20 games this season. Alex Sanders starting at 1 forward. He's the only junior in the starting lineup. Don't know much about Sanders except he's averaging 12 points, over 12 points, and over 6 rebounds a game. And you can bet he does something to start in this lineup as a junior. Of course, the senior center is Maktar Nadayev. 10.5 rebounds, 10 points a game, and 6 blocks a game for Nadayev. Starting for the Farrell Steelers, Joe Evans starts at 1 guard. He'll be wearing number 10. Number 20 is Chris Summers. He's 6'3" forward. Quentin McLean starts at the 1 guard position for Farrell, number 22. He's the team leader. Steve Royster at center position at 6'4", number 40. And Alan Davis, a 6'5" senior, wearing number 42. Will round out the starting lineup for the Farrell Steelers. The officials for tonight's game: Bill King, Ray Shamming, and Jack Zellis. The Farrell alma mater of the national anthem. national anthem in the Farrell alma mater. We're about ready to tip this one off. Should be interesting from the start, and this is going to be fun to just see this kind of talent. Mokhtar Ndai, number 35, the 6'9" senior from Nigeria. It's a pretty big school district in Oakhill. He brings their players in from right there. Actually from Senegal, Africa, not Nigeria. My mistake. We're Senegal, Africa.
Kind of interesting, Sean. We can see the crowd there. Everyone's kind of on the edge of their seats just trying to see what this team is like, kind of an anticipation. The crowd's really not into the game yet. Everyone's kind of sitting there waiting to see how good is this team.
I think they're going to find out quickly from everything we've heard.
But what a great opportunity for Farrell. I mean, you never have the chances to knock off the Goliaths, the Will Chamberlain, but here's the opportunity for them. No doubt about it, they have a difficult task ahead of them, but at least they have that opportunity.
Bill controls the tap easily. This is McInnes, the point guard.
Farrell comes out into a man-to-man. Nice play.
McLean with the first big play for Farrell. Chris Summers defensively stops it away. Farrell's actually going to try a little press action here.
That's their style, Sean.
Not in trouble. McInnes working against McLean. They're leading this one 3-0. 7:12 to play first quarter. Stackhouse answers that quickly for Oakhill, making a 3-2 ball game. But Farrell getting on the board early, actually leading this one. See if that isn't their last lead.
Nice dish.
Inside.
No harm.
Davis had it blocked away easily by Ndai. Royster's second three-point attempt off the rim. Oakhill will take over on the offensive end of the ball. This is Jermaine Smith handling against Joe Evans for Farrell. Downey had it slapped away. Ref said he just lost it. It's going to go over to the Farrell Steelers. Leading 3-2 here with 6.5 minutes to play in the first quarter. Joe Evans, the Farrell point guard, working against Jeff McInnes. Both teams playing man-to-man. This is McLean looking for some help. This is Summers. Chris Summers in the lane, his shot blocked. Oakhill on the run. Easy basket for Jerry Stackhouse.
So one thing Farrell can't give up, Sean, is a fast break. That's nothing but hustle. They have to be able to at least get back and match up in numbers.
Oakhill leading this one now 4-3. Farrell with the basketball. McLean outside. Alan Davis hard off the glass and out of bounds. It'll go over to the Oakhill Warriors.
Good call.
Fans didn't like it.
Yeah, I don't think they'll like much that goes against Farrell tonight.
Stackhouse shot from the side. And Ndai with the strong rebound, but cleared away nicely there by Alan Davis for Farrell.
Davis doing a nice job on the die early underneath.
Holding his own. Down
Tough shot.
Quentin McLean had to adjust his shot, but he got it over the big man And Farrell's back ahead 5-4. McInnes with the pull-up. Hard off the glass, and Davis' second straight rebound.
And if you're Farrell, you'll give up the 10-footers tonight. The key to Farrell's defense is to keep them out of the paint, because that's where they're physically overmatched. Even if they hit a couple 12-footers, that's not too much of a problem. The miscommunication, he went backdoor.
Summers turns it over. Sloppy here in the early going. These teams feeling each other out. 4.5 minutes to play first quarter. It's a 5-4 Farrell lead. McInnes down low. Posting up the smaller Joe Evans. Getting the easy basket for Oakhill.
That should be a goaltend. Good call.
Steve Royster down the baseline for the Farrell basket.
You have to like Farrell's attitude early. They're not afraid to go to the hoop. They've had a couple blocked, but they've continued to try and take the ball to the hoop.
And as promised, Oakhill is playing up around the glass.
Nice drive.
Jermaine Smith. The Oakhill basket. It's an 8-7 Oakhill lead. Joe Evans trying to set up the Farrell offense. Somebody in good position.
Take their time on offense.
Summers down the lane. High off the glass. The ball was tipped.
That foul's going to turn out good for Farrell because Oakhill had about 2 guys down. Would have been an easy fast break. That's a foul you'll take.
Foul called on Farrell's Alan Davis, his first. 1 foul against each team so far. It's an 8-7 Oakhill lead. 3.5 minutes to play first quarter. Here at Farrell's E.J. McCluskey Gymnasium.
Little zone here. Farrell goes into, it looks like a 2-3.
Evans with the steal. He stepped in front there, but Ndai recovers nicely for Oakhill. There's a way to beat the zone, but the 3-point attempt from McInnes is off. Actually, that's Stackhouse.
Nice move by Coach Canone. Going to the zone, changing it up a little bit, forces the bad shot.
Knowledgeable Farrell's fans into it early. McLean in 3-point range. Holds off. Steve Royster. This is inside to Davis. His little hook attempt blocked by Ndai. That's got to be 4 for him. Strong to the basket. Alex Sanders, he's the junior. Talk about a man. Great to see that coming at you. 6'7", 235 pounds. Foul called on Chris Summers, his first.
Hey, Chris was just trying to get out of the way.
He didn't want to get hit by the ball.
Yeah.
Didn't go in, by the way. It's still an 8-7 ball game. Sanders will shoot 2 after missing the slam.
One thing you have to be happy about if you're a Farrell fan is there's 2 minutes and 37 seconds left in the first quarter. And Oakhill only has 9 points going on 10, so I think that's about the tempo that you want this game.
A good shot of the fans kind of hanging over. That's how many people are in this gym. It holds 2,500 seats, 2,500. We're told they probably have 3,000 people in here tonight. Joe Evans in a little bit of trouble. And Oakhill's aggressive defense makes the play. The official saved it. Who's he going to give it to? Gives it to Farrell. Ball bounced off the official right in front of our table here.
Joe's got to keep his dribble. He picked up his dribble and the wingmen weren't open. He was kind of trapped there. Nice pass.
McLean.
And they're off.
Sanders down quickly again. Doesn't get the roll. And the first a good-looking block there from Alan Davis.
Allen didn't like it.
Jermaine Smith, the man he fouled. Farrell makes the first substitution. Coach Canode going to Art Page, 6'1" junior guard. Number 50, he's into the line replacing Davis, who sits down with 2 fouls here. 2:06 to play in the quarter. Oakhill leading 10-7. Jermaine Smith at the line. This is the first.
Summers has to be careful here on boxing out in the day because he can reach right over top. He's really got to push him back. No problem. Foul shot made. Little trap.
I think they have to throw over a die. Farrell does though. McLean, he was looking for the jab. He draws the foul. He gets the hoop. So Farrell takes it right at the Oakhill press with success.
Yeah, and give credit to Joe Evans there because he recognized the trap, threw it, got it to half court, led to a 2-on-1 break. So credit Joe Evans for breaking the trap and getting the ball
foul
off
call
the
to
floor.
Jerry Sanders there. As you look at the replay there, McLean wanted to dunk that ball, and until he saw Sanders in the way, he had to adjust the shot, draw the foul on Sanders, his first, second one on Oakhill so far. 3 fouls against Farrell. It's an 11-9 ball game. And McLean is at the line, shooting 1.
And not that I thought they would, but Farrell is not backing down. They're challenging Oakhill on their shots, and they're not afraid to take it to the hoop. That's a good sign. Shows they're not being intimidated, even though Oakhill has blocked a couple shots early on.
In and out on the foul shot attempt, though. So one thing you think, though, if you know, you start thinking about upset when you're down 11-9, almost through the first quarter, they're going to have to make those fouls.
That's about the only time they're going to get an uncontested shot. Alley-oop,
McKinnis to Stackhouse.
That's exactly what Coach Canone was afraid about by playing a zone, that they would just throw it over the top because you don't get the pressure of the ball handler that much. It gives them time to make that pass.
This is another block by Ndai. As Page took the first shot, it's a 13-9. Oakhill lead, Oakhill with the basketball. 1:20 to play first quarter. McKinnis pulls up and fires a jump shot. And Sanders is called for a second foul going over the back of the Farrell rebounder. As we have our first substitution into the ball game for Oakhill, Tavares Johnson, a 6'6" junior, checks in for Sanders.
They don't get any smaller coming off the bench, do they?
No, they don't.
Oakhill took the press off.
Johnson, a starter earlier in the season for Oakhill until Sanders replaced him. Art Page outside for Farrell. Summers, Joe Evans, down low to McLean. He's used to working down there, but not against that kind of size. Stackhouse with another jam. Well, these guys are definitely ready for the ACC. They have everything down, including the act after the dunk. Just hear the murmur going through the crowd here. This is a crowd that has seen a lot of basketball, but I don't think they've seen anything like this Oakhill team. Jerry Stackhouse at the line. Ball knocked out on the end line. Summers will get the inbound in here for Farrell.
44 seconds left, Sean. If I'm Farrell and I get the ball past half court, I'm going to play for 1.
We can get it to half court as Stackhouse intercepted. And Dye the easy dunk. 17-9. This is the danger point for Farrell.
Yeah, he needs a timeout bad.
Stackhouse picked it off, and Ndai followed it in for the Oakhill Warriors. Farrell just collapsed there in the last 30 seconds. It's a 19-9 ball game. It was 11-9 not long ago.
Yeah, and that can happen when you're playing a team as big and as physical as Oakhill that can also run up and down the floor. All of a sudden, you look at the clock, they get a couple steals, and it's a 10-point lead. The problem that Farrell is going to have going against this trapping press is that Evans, though he's small and quick, his small size is going to hurt them because he's easy to trap.
You got to look here at some of the plays here toward the end of that first, toward the timeout. Dye just following through with that easy dunk off the press. Press just, it's got to be demoralizing. First of all, not only, I'm sure they've seen teams do this and maybe seen teams get layups, but when they're dunking the ball like this, even though it's easy enough to say, it only counts 2 points, it's involved in these kids' brains.
Well, if you're Farrell, you have to stay out of the corners because that's where the trap is. Oakhill changed their press around a little bit.
They sent McLean long. He's down there all alone, 1-on-2, and pulls it out.
Gotta take that.
3-point attempt by Royster didn't go.
And again, that was a good foul because it was a 4-on-0 break. That time Oakhill changed up their press. They fronted everybody, fronted the guards, made Farrell throw over top, which they did successfully.
Rico Shannonhouse into the Farrell lineup. Where's number 32? McGinnis setting up the Oakhill offense. He takes it down the lane and from the opposite side. From the left side, knocks it in. That's the end of the first quarter of play. Oakhill with a 21-9 lead over the Farrell Steelers. This game has been brought to you in part by JJ's Lighthouse on Division Street in Sharon. Stop in for their world-famous fish sandwiches on Wednesday and Friday, or grab one of their delicious steak sandwiches. That's JJ's Lighthouse, Division Street in Sharon. Back here at E.J. McCluskey Gymnasium at Farrell High School, where the Farrell Steelers saw quite a bit in the last 2 minutes of the first quarter here against the Oakhill Academy Warriors. We found out why Oakhill is ranked as one of the top teams in the nation as they opened up a 21-9 lead. Got some new players into the ballgame, including Jason Thomas, will be wearing number 21 for Oakhill. Also big number 30, Mark Blood, a 6'11" sophomore center. Maybe the best sophomore in the country, but he say he doesn't play all that much. Obviously with the talent on Oakhill's team. He's in there now. McLean takes it right through, and Farrell gets their first dunk of the ball game, and it's a 10-point game at 21-11.
One was slow to get over and to help.
Quick McLean took it right to him, the Farrell senior. Jerry Stackhouse, the headline maker on this team. Foul called down low. It's going to be called on Tavares Johnson from Oakhill. Pushing in the lane. Chris Summers and Joe Evans still at the guard positions for Farrell. The forwards are Rico Shannonhouse and Quentin McLean. Alan Davis back in number 42 at the center position. Marco Miller handling on the near side for Farrell. Shannonhouse, McLean again on the baseline. A little strong, cleared by McInnes. Oakhill looking to run, but Farrell back on defense this time.
That's a carry that he got away with. Nice move.
Jeff McInnes with the basket for the Farrell Steelers. Oakhill. It's a 23-11 Oakhill lead. 6:47 to play first half. Marco Miller. Shannonhouse has a shot blocked.
Just like that.
Jermaine Smith, the easy basket.
That's what,
nice block by Tavares Johnson.
That's what size will do for you, Sean, because you can get the blocks. The guards can take off. They don't have to worry about rebounding. You know your 2 or 3 forwards will get the rebound or get the block, and there they go again.
Stackhouse with the steal. Johnson travels. We have another substitution. Vincent Luther, a 6'3" junior. Check wearing number 24. Checks into the Oakhill lineup. Into the Farrell lineup.
As you watch Farrell on offense this time down the floor, you'll see the trouble they're having getting the ball in the paint. Most of their offense is around the perimeter.
Number 14, Brian Moltari just passed it off there. There he is with the basketball. Three-point attempt. Moltari's left-handed shot doesn't go, but the foul called down low. He called that on the big fella. Blunt? Yep. Yeah, foul going. Blunt his first.
It was on Blunt trying to get through the pick.
5 on Oakhill here in the first half. Farrell still not in the 1-on-1. Trap in the corner.
Good trap.
They just play a swarming defense, as you can imagine.
Well, the thing that's so impressive about them is they don't trap all the time. They trap when it's there. It's not something they do every time, but if you go to the corner and you're not paying attention, all of a sudden you have 2 guys on you.
Coach Steve Smith does a nice job with this team. Stackhouse left-handed shot. Easy basket inside for Tavares Johnson. It's a 27-11 Oakhill lead. Three-pointer from McLean. It's a 27-14. McLean trying to get the steal there. He's out on Stackhouse, 1-on-1.
The thing that's so impressive about Stackhouse, in addition to being 6'6", and he obviously can handle the ball and has great moves, because he's a big kid. I mean, you know, he's not a fragile body, and he uses that body to create open shots for himself.
It's the first foul on Quentin McLean, the 6th foul against Farrell. So Oakhill will inbound. Jeff McInnes back into the Oakhill.
I saw that one
attack,
coming,
and he lobbed it into Stackhouse.
Just a little pickup on the lane. Farrell in the man-to-man on the inbounds.
They're putting on a clinic.
That's just physical superiority. There's not much you can do about that.
Moltari. They'll lob it down low against those guys.
Not tonight.
Might attempt not to do that. Tavares Johnson. Well, they just swarm. It doesn't matter how many of them. Finally, that was Stackhouse who finished it. But they sent 4 or 5 guys right to the boards. It's 31-14. Oakhill leading this one. Marco Miller. A little hesitation move, but he couldn't get it to roll. Farrell was to McLean wanted to goaltend one, but he missed that one. Another shot here, the dunk here.
There's a pick up high by the foul line, and no contest.
Yeah. The only guy in the team on Farrell's team that could get that high was McLean. He was standing at the foul line watching, as you said, caught behind the pick. Gotta look there at the first quarter stats.
Oakhill, pretty good field goal percentage. It's not too, you know, probably about 5 or 6 of those were dunks. That's nothing too impressive. But look at the rebounds, 13. And the turnovers by Farrell, most of those coming late in the first quarter, which really kind of opened this game up.
Well, the Farrell team has kind of turned it a little bit lately into playing the one-on-one. Marco Miller going one-on-one. Everybody kind of standing around looking, waiting for somebody to make a move now. It's kind of tough for them to run their normal offense against this defense.
That's really what is causing Farrell the most problems right now, Sean. When they're able to set up and play defense against Oakhill, they haven't done a bad job. The problem is their offense is really struggling against Oakhill. That's creating a lot of steals, blocked shots, and fast breaks and easy baskets for Oakhill.
Back into the Farrell lineup is Joe Evans, number 10, the point guard. He's in there with Marco Miller, so 2 little guys into the Farrell guard positions. This is Evans handling now. Marco Miller. McLean running the baseline, trying to get open. Scott Royster and Alan Davis down low.
Blunt got called for another one. He's just fighting for position down there against Davis. Yeah, something Farrell might give an idea to is, you know, their post-up offense isn't working. Maybe going to like a four-corner, spreading the floor out a little bit. You're not getting anything in the paint. Push it open up the middle. Maybe someone can beat their man and go down the lane, because you're not getting anything on your low post play tonight.
It's a 31-14 Oakhill lead. Everything sounds good to me right now. 3.5 minutes to play first half. Royster, foul called away from the ball. Another one. This one's going to be called on Farrell, though.
Allen got caught.
Alan Davis. That'll be 3 on him in the first half. And quickly, Chris Summers is into the Farrell lineup, replacing Alan Davis. It's going to send Jeff McKinnis to the foul line here, shooting 1-1. You haven't seen any dunks off missed free throws yet, Dan.
It's early.
Well, 4 out of 6 from the foul line for Oakhill tonight. They could even shoot fouls. The press on quickly. Farrell. Miller gets it to Evans. Farrell pressing the issue. McLean goes to the hoop. But the big fella Blunt just wipes it away. McLean in the corner. Oyster. Down one of Summers. Blunt got his hand on that one and also got the foul call. That'll be 3 on Blunt here in the first half.
Summers was open. He was waiting for the ball because he knew Blunt was coming.
It's 3 on the sophomore.
So we'll take the 6'11" guy out and we'll bring in the 6'9" guy. What a loss.
Alex Sanders back into the Oakhill lineup. Sanders has a couple fouls himself. Summers at the line shooting 2 for Farrell. 33-14 Oakhill lead. Finally cracks it. Farrell sticking with their man-to-man. Stackhouse has it taken by McLean, and McLean trapped him nicely. Dishes off to Joe Evans. In and out on the layup, though. Look at the alley-oop attempt. Stackhouse was way up on it. Foul called on it, and who was the foul called on? Or was it a foul? No, we're just going to call it out of bounds to Oakhill. Jermaine Smith handles outside. Guinness on the baseline falls out of bounds after shooting and missing. And Farrell fighting for everything, comes away with the rebound. Chris Summers, 3-point range. Evans. Royster for 3 more. Farrell's outshot him in 3-point attempts here tonight. 33-18 is the score.
In a normal game, that would open up the lane for you if you hit a couple of threes. I don't think that's the case tonight.
2:25 to play here, first half. Coach Steve Smith not at all pleased with his Oakhill team right now. McKinnis pulls up for the easy jump shot attempt. You know, you say easy, but it's, you know, looking at these fellas, it's hard to believe, to remember that they're still in high school. It looks all the world like a college team on the floor. Joe Evans from the foul line. Can't get it. Summers had it down low, lost it, and then got called for the reaching foul, or was that called? It was called on number 40 for Farrell. Steve Royster, his second. With that, we'll be back right after this with the foul shot attempts. Oakhill leading Farrell 35-18. Royster at the line. Oakhill leading Farrell 35-18. Sean Doherty and Dan Donahoe bringing you this Oakhill Academy Farrell High School game. A little special attraction in the middle of the WPIAL season here on KBL. Jermaine Smith only averages 7 points a game. I think he's probably already got that here tonight. On to UNLV next year. Farrell back quickly. With McLean with the three-point attempt that goes in and out. Oakhill running. Sanders misses, and Farrell's running right back at him. McLean pulls up high off the glass, and it just didn't have the right downward angle.
Now in that series, Farrell did a good job first getting back to stop the break, then getting the ball out. Got a good shot from McLean. That'll fall.
Stackhouse hits the side of the board. It's going to turn it over to Farrell. With a minute 8 to play here in the first half. As Tavares Johnson checks back into the Oakhill lineup, replacing Alex Sanders. Johnson wears number 32. Coach Nick Cano there, the Farrell Steelers in his natty purple suit. Jeff McKinnis called for the reaching foul there as he tried to take away from Royster.
Farrell's down 19 right now, Sean. They just need to get a couple hoops. If they can cut it under 15, I think that would be basically a victory for them going into halftime. They don't want it to get into the 20s. If they can just start scoring by a couple hoops here going into the last 58 seconds, take these 2 free throws.
McKinnis has 3 fouls. He sits down, and Jason Thomas, 6'5" senior, wearing number 21 for Oakhill, replaces him. Royster at the line, but Farrell's not shot their fouls well so far here tonight.
Now, and that hurts because it's the front end of a one-on-one.
50 seconds to play in the first half. It's a 37-18 Oakhill lead. Oakhill with the basketball. Jermaine Smith. Tavares Johnson gets the basket, but it was Smith.
Yeah. And there's one thing that's talent, and one that comes from hard work, the moves he puts on there. That's not all talent. That's a lot of time on the playground. Working on those moves, working on your ball handling.
Showing it here tonight. This is Rico Shannonhouse. Well, killing a little bit of clock down to 12 seconds here in the first half. 39-18, they're trailing. Quentin McLean outside, looking for the last shot. It's a three-point attempt off the rim hard. And that'll be the end of the first half of action. 39-18, Oakhill leads it. We'll be back right after this. This game has been brought to you in part by JJ's Lighthouse on Division Street in Sharon. Stop in for their world-famous fish sandwiches on Wednesday and Friday, or grab one of their delicious steak sandwiches. That's JJ's Lighthouse, Division Street in Sharon. Well, it's been a very impressive performance here so far at E.J. McCluskey Gymnasium here at Farrell High School. Oakhill really putting on the show tonight. We're getting a real taste of what Oakhill Academy, the legacy of that being written here tonight at Farrell High School. As you may know, anybody who has watched a lot of high school basketball over the years in Western Pennsylvania knows it's Farrell High School that has the real legacy around here. I had a recent chance to talk to some of the participants and some of the coaches and talk a lot about the history. You look there at all the state championships won here by Farrell. Talked to a couple former coaches and a lot of former players here at Farrell. We talked mostly about Eddie McCluskey. We'll give you a look at that, and we'll be back with the statistics here at halftime. Dan and I will try to talk about what we've seen here tonight, and then we'll be back with second half action. Check out this piece.
They know what you put into it. And Coach McCluskey, you know, I was one of his whipping boys, but the dedication he put in and the practice time to prepare you, and that's, you know, he was real. You know, he did the things that he had to do to keep the program going. He was willing to put the time in, and so was Coach Sinsek when he had the program. The hours that those two guys put into the gym, it just rubs off, and I try to just follow that footsteps. You know, hard work, there's no substitute, and that's what I learned from the coach.
Yes, when we played Chester, Chester had a great basketball team. I think they were undefeated. They had Emerson Baynard and Granny Lash, and they had 10 of their first 12 that could dunk the ball. And I know Coach didn't want us to go out early because he didn't want you to be intimidated. So we stayed inside while they came out and they slam dunked both sides behind their back and so forth. In those days, you were allowed to do that in warm-ups. And they put on a great show warming up. And they had great size, 6'6", 6'7" guys who could really play. And we came out later. He brought us out later, and I've always asked him why he brought us out so late, and he did tell me because of that tremendous dunking show that they had put on. But later on, we played a great, great ball game. In some respects, a lot of people think it's one of the finest state games, championships there ever was, and we won 76-66. Just a great, great thrill to be there. The old Penn Palestra, standing room only, people everywhere. My fondest memories is playing in here, is playing with the big, big ball games, where you had tremendous crowds. You couldn't even see the aisleways. They were up on the ramps. People were everywhere just rooting us on. That kind of situation has sort of, you remember it as a player. It drives you, I know, as a coach, and I'm sure Nick will verify that, and you sort of feel as a coach that you have a responsibility, and as a next coach, to keep this program going, to keep it successful, to give it your 120%, and so we can still keep enjoying some of the success which was nurtured here several years ago. We go down to scout, Mac and I, Penn Hills, and this is a Mac story that only anybody has to appreciate it, because no other coach would think of this. And Mac says, Frank, he says, what's their record? And I said, I think they've lost 2 games, Coach. And he says, where at? And I says, on the road. He says, He said, that means they were wearing those blue uniforms on the road. And I said, yes. He says, well, we're going to play the next game. We want them to wear their blue. We have to go down and flip the coin. So I walked down with Mac, and Mousy Meisenhelter, the coach, came out, and he says, Mac says, Mouse, what color uniforms you want to wear? And Mouse says, I want to wear white. Mac says, well, we want to wear white too, so we're going to have to flip. So we wait around 15 minutes for the AD from Penn Hills to come, and finally he comes, and I pull out the coin, and I flip it up, comes down, and they call heads. But it went down underneath the plywood, underneath the ice. And as I picked it up, it was heads, but Max says, under the ice, but new flip. Okay, well, a new flip. I pull the coin up again, and I flip it up, and they call heads or tails, whatever, but they lost the toss. And Matt just said one thing. He says, looked him right in the eye, Mousy. He says, we'll wear white. So then we turned around and we walked away. And we got about, I say, 100 feet away, and Max says, you know something, Frank? Did you see the look in their face? He says, we got him. We got him. And I would never forget that incident of just thinking about blue uniforms versus white uniforms and trying to get a mental edge for a game.
Well, McCluskey, in my opinion, he was a father similar to all the fellows that played on Farrell High School. He lived basketball, and he tried to, he stressed that to everyone that was in the program at the time. He worked hard, and he asked the players around him to work hard. And I think that's the big reason we were successful, that we worked hard, and he insisted he worked hard himself. And he was always around when you needed him. If you had a problem, he was there to answer those problems and help you if you needed help. We talked about many things other than basketball. Even before I started, when McCluskey was here at high school the year before, when I was in junior high school, and we had talked around the playgrounds and wherever basketball was being played at the time about things, about basketball and other things in general, and life in general. So, yes, I would say he was a big part of my life in preparing me for where I am now, whatever I may be.
Because of McCluskey's discipline, everybody was treated equally, like a dog. So we all bonded together. It was camaraderie. Everybody worked together. There were no individuals, which he wouldn't like. I think our basketball was pretty good. We were ahead of our time. We were not allowed to dunk at that time, and we certainly had players that were capable of dunking, and Crosby, McCoy, you name a few. He was tough, really tough. He had thought behind it. He knew exactly what he was doing. But the best thing of all is that you were always prepared for your opponent. You knew exactly what he was going to do. It made it a lot easier. He taught you discipline, hard work, life, way to follow, way to do it. It's helped me throughout my life. There's no question about that.
I can remember the chalk talk and the pep talk that McCluskey had given us, and we were playing Chester, and he said, don't be intimidated because they had Jimmy Long, Chester Walker, and Horace Walker, and they had a great team out there in Philadelphia and Chester. And they were 6'5", 6'7", 6'8", and our biggest player was Don Goose Talbert, who was about 6'1", our center. And he told us not to go out when we went out to warm up, not to look across there warming up, because didn't want us to be intimidated because they were slam dunking at that time, and I'm talking 1954. So we kind of, right before we were to go out, he had a special guest come in who was Julius McCoy. And Julius gave us the last final words before we went on the floor. And it's something that I've always remembered, and I always tell my kids the same thing when they were playing sports, and it holds true for any sport. And Julius told us, one thing that you have to remember playing this state game: winners are remembered and losers are forgotten. And at that point, I kind of became so choked up, it brought tears to my eyes, and I'm looking at Charlie Kemp and then Jimmy, and we start to well up with some tears, and it was just it was a moment that we started thinking, what happens if we lose? In your mind, you think, what happens if you lose this game? You go back to the fans, and you go back to Farrell, and for them it would be a great disappointment, and for us it would be a great disappointment. But we went out and we played well, and we won that ball game 58-54.
Well, you get the kids that want to work hard. They don't want to work hard, they're no longer with us. And then they could feed off of these state pennants and the state section champs and the BPL champs. You know, they've always said when Coach McCluskey was coaching, sometimes there was better athletes in the stands, but they wouldn't want to conform. They wouldn't do the things that he wanted. And, you know, I try to go by that.
I think there's tremendous pride and tremendous tradition. I think it started back in the 50s when we were into those state championships back into the 50s. People would load up down there on Broadway and get into the train and go on to Philadelphia and play, follow the team. I think that's carried on. Basketball is definitely one of the big sports in our town. They understand that. They know the pride and tradition, the pennants on the wall. They know what's expected of them. The discipline. Coach McCluskey had tremendous amount of discipline with us. We had to do exactly what he wanted to do and get done, and you understood that. Everything winning is based on that types of discipline. I know I try to do some kinds of things. I know Coach Canone is just taking it over and just keeping the ball rolling too. And the kids know what's expected. They know there's a winning tradition, and they know they have to perform when they come out here. And I think that's a great deal to do with the program, and I think it helps a great deal when you're into a close ball game near the end of the game, And I know Coach Cano will probably verify this. You pull out that big ball game, I think your pride and tradition helps to do that also.
And I had the opportunity to play on that state team, 7th man. As much as we teach defense, I wasn't very good defensively. But I remember getting into the state game. We got in some foul trouble, and Coach McCluskey was come down to the bench and was looking at everybody, and I will never forget, everybody on the bench had their head down. And he says, "Cano, get in there." And boy, I popped up, and I had a few rebounds. I hit a basket, but you know, that game, the big game that you worked hard for, just getting a little part, a few minutes, you know, I'll never forget that feeling. And then as we were coming home, how the cars were lined up along Swamp Road, right off of Interstate 80 now, and how the people came out and saluted us and congratulated us. It was, well, I still get goosebumps thinking about that.
So I've often sat with Mac, and one day him and I on the way back from scouting, and I talked to him. I says, "Coach, I says, what was the greatest state championship team that you ever had?" He never answered that question for me. He would not make a single choosing, even though I think he had some favorites. I told him who I thought was the greatest team that played. He didn't say no to me, and he didn't say yes to me. But it was an interesting kind of conversation where I tried to get him to tell me whom he thought was the best of all the Farrell teams, but I knew him. He would never, never, never point one out versus the other. There were so many great teams that came in here and played. In the early times, they talk about Meadville with Lloyd Sherrar, who was 7 foot, and right here in this gym, Meadville had us down by 25 at the half, and Farrell went to man-for-man full court pressure and pulled the game out. That was another great, great ball game. I remember when I coached, we had a young man hit one from mid-court to win the game, and we had one of our students who was selling popcorn up on the ramp and got so excited, jumped off the ramp onto the floor. Jumped off the ramp onto the floor to run out and hug our player who had won the game at the buzzer. But there's always amazing shots and amazing comebacks in this gym. This gym has so much history in it of just great, great ball games because traditionally Farrell has played all the great ball teams, and which is comparable of coming up here now with Oakhill Academy.
Hobbies, and everybody's after you, and it's still to this day. Maybe not because what we've done lately, but I tell the kids, hey, you have to be ready. You're still Farrell, and people still want to get you, and I think that helps us to maintain that excellence throughout the year and throughout the years.
We're back at E.J. McCluskey Gymnasium where Oakhill is leading Farrell 39-18. It was quite impressive first half performance by these Oakhill Warriors, and also fairly impressive by Farrell as well.
I think you're right, Sean. I think that Farrell is pretty much done about as well as they can. You know, you don't want to miss any foul shots. You see they're 1 from 4 from the line. One was a front end of a 1-on-1. You can't miss any open jump shots. That's a lot of pressure on kids, but when you're playing against a team like Oakhill, you can't make any mistakes. You know, you see the 9 turnovers. The shooting is down a little bit for Farrell, 7 for 25. You just can't make any mistakes when you're playing a team the caliber of Oakhill.
McLean leading Farrell with 9 points in the first half, and that's Quentin McLean, of course, the 6'2" senior. And Steve Royster has 6 points. Chris Summers has the other 3. They're the only 3 players who have scored for Farrell in this one. Of course, Jerry Stackhouse leading Oakhill with 12 points. Jermaine Smith with 7. Start second half. This is point guard Jeff McInnes for Oakhill. Stackhouse. Smith lobs inside for Stackhouse, and it goes over his head, out of bounds.
It's a play you see in the ACC, Duke and North Carolina, a little back screen for the alley-oop.
Joe Evans handling the point for Farrell right now. Alan Davis put McLean down low. Davis posting up. This is McLean, comes outside to get it. Royster in 3-point range. Steve Royster. This is Evans. Little miscommunication there. He guessed wrong on McLean as McLean broke to the basket just as Evans went to pass the ball and couldn't stop it. Tough turnover there for Farrell. Still 39-18. First minute, third quarter of action. Oakhill turns it right back to the Farrell Steelers. It's sloppy to start this half. Royster down to Chris Summers for the easy basket for Farrell.
Nice pass and a real nice shot by Royster.
39-20, Oakhill leads it. And Dye in the lane. Rolls off for the big fella. Farrell pushing it a little bit. McLean down quickly.
Nice
Allen Davis just rolled off. He wanted
and they get one up. Well, it hurts. It looked like Davis was going to go up and jam that. Didn't really have control of it. Went for the layup and it rolled out on him.
Sanders gets it back quickly for Oakhill, and it's a 41-20 lead.
A quick 4-point swing right there.
Royster outside. Davis 23 feet out. Royster, the baseline, the jump shot. Finding the net now as the shooting range improves for the Farrell Steelers. 41-22, Oakhill leads it. Jermaine Smith. Stackhouse, three-point attempt. Off, but a Dye just too strong inside.
Like I said before the start of the third quarter, those little things, you can't afford to make those little kind of mistakes. And like I said, that puts a lot of pressure on you, but if you want to stay in this game.
There's a three-pointer for Steve Royster. He's hit two in a row.
Light them up.
43-25, Oakhill.
I didn't really see that. They called a walk. Looked like a crossover dribble to me, but
Said he turned the ball over. McInnes asking the official, said I had my hand on top of the ball. But we'll go over to the Steelers on offense here. 5.5 minutes to play, third quarter. Down by 18. Royster short on that one, but Chris Summers follows inside as Farrell out hustling Oakhill right now a little bit.
they are, and they came out very inspired in the second half. They're setting good picks on offense. That's giving them some open shots.
McInnes hard off the rim. A loose ball quickly to Ndai for the easy slam.
Once again, you know, there goes a tip ball that maybe Farrell has and is off on a fast break. Instead, Oakhill turns it into a dunk.
Look at that break.
I'm running out of adjectives. We got a long way to go.
They look like they maybe have run that break somewhere before. It's a 20-point lead. 47-27 for Oakhill. Farrell with the basketball. Royster in three-point range. He's had some success out there. Davis, McLean for three. Summers knocks it out, and it'll go over to Oakhill. 4:24 to play in the third quarter. Farrell a little bit of pressure here, man to man. McLean matched up. A foul there. He just kind of tried to turn Jeff McInnes and called for the reach, I guess.
You'll seldom get that call, though, just for the fact that it's in the middle of the floor. All the attention is focused. If you don't get the steal and you make any kind of contact, you're probably going to get called for a foul on that.
2 fouls on Quentin McLean from Farrell. Stackhouse from the corner hits his first three. 50-27. Oakhill leads it by 23.
Yeah, a friend of mine from North Carolina said he's the next Michael Jackson, or I'm sorry, Michael Jordan, and I kind of laughed at him. Before you
Michael
see
Jackson,
a lot,
too. He could probably sing.
You see a lot of potential.
He is something, isn't he?
It's just so smooth, whether it's a jump shot or a drive.
Royster with the pretty move for Farrell. 3.5 minutes to play third quarter. It's a 21-point Oakhill lead. Farrell has played strong here in the second half. Now he dumped it down low to Stackhouse. He's fighting down there against hands from everywhere. Gonna watch this. Look at this Ndai dunk. Does that look like a high school kid to you?
No, and I don't think this really is a high school team. I think this is either a small Division I team or a Division II team. You know, you have 4 guys going major college next year. Most of them are either going to start or get a lot of playing time.
Tavares Johnson checks back in the Oakhill lineup. He replaces Alex Sanders. Those fellows are juniors. They look like they're juniors in medical school. Stackhouse at the line for Oakhill. Chris Summers clears it for Farrell. Maybe. I'm still not convinced. Royster, 3-pointer, but Summers follows it in nicely for Farrell. The Steelers can play around that rim too.
Yes, they can. They're just usually don't have this much traffic when they're around the rim as they do tonight. There's a lot of other people up there.
50-31, Oakhill leads it with the basketball. Travel called on Jermaine Smith. Does that mean he's human too?
Yeah. Probably the toughest thing for Farrell tonight, and watching them last year in the Whippeal Championship game against Mount Lebanon and knowing the style of basketball they play, is, you know, their defense creates a lot of things for them. Their man-to-man pressure, full court, creates a lot of their offense. Tonight, they're not getting anything out of that.
Jermaine Peterson has replaced Quentin McLean in the Farrell lineup as Coach Canone's not at all real thrilled about the way things are going and the way the Steelers have been listening to him so far here tonight. He's making some changes. First look at him also into the ballgame was number 50 for Farrell. That's Art Page. We saw a little bit of him in the first half. And Marco Miller, number 12, is back in there for the Steelers. Give everybody a chance to play against this great team. That's Page. Page, the 6'1" senior with the basket. 27-point lead, 50-33, 17 points. Get my math together here sooner or later. Didn't think it was up to 27 already. Smith makes the easy dump down. There's Tavares Johnson, found it. 19-point Oakhill lead. This is Marco Miller. Oakhill guys just banged heads. And there's Peterson's first 3-point attempt. The junior has 3 points.
Took advantage of it.
It's a 16-point game as
McGinnis banged heads there.
McGinnis and Smith banged heads as they went for the steal.
It's only a 15-point game.
Got between them. Farrell might be back into this one with a minute 27 to play in the third quarter. McGinnis tries to answer quickly, and Farrell's going to run on it. Marco Miller in traffic, trying to get it to Peterson, but McGinnis kind of...
Every time they start to make things interesting, a turnover or a loose ball they don't get. And there, you know, they had a 3-on-1 break. Kind of let him a little bit too much. The break really wasn't there. It was kind of clogged up. He probably would have been better off to just pull it out, set it up.
Instead, they're back on defense, trying to stop the train.
That was a train, huh?
Tavares Johnson.
That's just clearing yourself some room with your body and then taking the shot.
Alan Davis touches it for the first time in a long while.
Farrell's done a much better job on offense this quarter. They've spread the floor out a little bit, not even bothering looking to the low post.
Peterson in 3-point range. Goes cross court to Summers. He'll pull up.
And they're shooting well, too.
He's had a good third quarter, Chris Summers. 19 seconds to play in the quarter. It's a 54-38 Oakhill lead. Oakhill going to look for the last shot here.
Now, I wouldn't come out and get him. I'd give him some room because he's gone by you.
He stepped over the line, but he started to move.
7 seconds.
Jeff McKinnis stepped into the backcourt for the over and back violation.
Hoop here is 14, cuts it to 14.
Alan Davis comes over to get it. To inbound, and Dye.
Boy, look at that wingspan. Jeez.
How can anybody pass through that? Farrell with 5 seconds. 3-point attempt just off the rim. Boy, would that have helped.
And that was a good, real good quarter.
At the end of 3 quarters of play, it's Oakhill Academy leading Farrell 54-38. This game has been brought to you in part by JJ's Lighthouse on Division Street in Sharon. Stop in for their world-famous fish sandwiches on Wednesday and Friday, or grab one of their delicious steak sandwiches. That's JJ's Lighthouse, Division Street in Sharon. Oakhill leading Farrell 54-38 here at E.J. McCluskey Fieldhouse at Farrell High School. This is Dan and my first trip here to Farrell High School, but it's not that man in the red jersey. Joe Gross, had a chance to talk to him the other day. He's been a Farrell fan for many years. Got a little comment from him. We can come up with it a little bit. You can hear Farrell trying to cut into the
Oh, he slid that one by.
Chris Summers with the big basket there.
We're down to 14, and the crowd is waking up a little bit.
54-40, 2,500 strong, looking for something to cheer about. Jerry Stackhouse misses, but Tavares Johnson follows easily inside for Oakhill. Only somehow they can keep those second shots away. This is Summers. He's the man with the hot hand for Farrell. Davis outside.
A lot of credit to Coach Canone for going to this offense. Made a couple of adjustments at halftime, spreading things out. It's caused some problems. Of course, they got to keep shooting like that, and they have been.
Rick McLean back in there, and he hits it with his first shot. It's a 56-42 Oakhill lead.
You know, it's interesting, Sean. Farrell was down 12 after the first quarter. They've been fairly even since that time.
And it was just that one stretch there at the end of the quarter.
Exactly.
As Adai gets called for the walk down low, they turn it over and it goes back to Farrell. A chance to cut into that lead a little more.
It was 21-9 at the end of the first quarter, so they have been fairly even. It doesn't look like that because Oakhill, when they score, it's so impressive. It's dunks and this, but still, it's nothing but a basket. Nice trap.
That little
Good luck.
trap attempt.
Oh, rainbow, and three.
There'll be 3 foul shots to be attempted by Steve Royster. Joe Evans with the nice recognition of the defense and the pass for Farrell.
One of the cardinal mistakes in basketball, never foul a jump shooter, especially when you're 6'9". I mean, all he has to do is get his hands up, alter the shot, which he did.
Didn't quite get that one. See if we can make this third one here. Farrell's had a rough go of it here tonight at the line. Royster cuts it to 12.
Take that.
6.5 minutes to play. 56-44. Oakhill leads it. Jeff McKinnis working against Quentin McLean. They'll go down low. Back out to McKinnis. Stackhouse from the wing. 3-point attempt in and out. And Dye's tip. Third time goes down.
Nice soft hands for a man of his size.
And the lead is again 14. Marco Miller handling the point for Farrell. Gets the pass from McLean. Jeff McKinnis. The block and the foul. His third.
Again, good ball movement and good picks by Farrell. They're really laying the body on guys. That's creating the open passes. you remember in the first half, they had trouble making that pass to the wing. They're starting to lay their body on Oakhill, and that's giving their wing guys a chance to come out and take the pass.
Sophomore point guard Marco Miller at the line, shooting 2. Miller's played well. Never know he was a sophomore by the way he's handled this pressure, especially, you know, as impressive as this Oakhill team is.
What experience for all of the Farrell players.
Makes both of his foul shot attempts. Again, we have a 12-point game. Oakhill with the basketball. Stackhouse couldn't get it outside. Foul called down low, I believe, on Quentin McLean of Farrell, the rebound.
You know, you get Stackhouse to take the 20-footers. He's missed the last couple, but it's really no gamble for him because he knows that his big men are going to clean up the boards. Not much risk in taking those shots.
3 fouls on McLean.
That's a nice little play that was set up for the inbounders.
McKinnis missed the 3-point attempt, though, and Farrell's back on offense. A chance to cut the lead to 10.
Patience on offense.
Royster outside. Alan Davis comes way out to meet it. This is Marco Miller, the sophomore.
They should be in no hurry here.
Summers had trouble with it, but regained it, and Dye went for the steal,
and there it is.
Away. Stackhouse. Again, the lead is 16.
Once again, Sean, a golden opportunity to cut it to 10 and a turnover.
Marco Miller intimidated a little bit there from Jeff McKinnis. Ball getting slippery now for Farrell. Royster calls timeout.
Excellent timeout.
Coach Nick Cannella in his 3rd season at Farrell. I wanted to show you that tape of Joe Gross, the fan who's been here many Farrell games, as we said, many more than Dan and I here in our first. We talked to him a little bit. He told us about the seat that he sits in.
No, there's nobody sitting here. Nobody has this seat. But when I first bought this team, this seat, I bought 2 tickets. My wife used to come with me, see. That was back in 1937. I watched them build the school. I watched them pour the concrete, and I decided, well, this would be a good seat right here. So I bought these 2 tickets, but then my wife decided she didn't want to go, so I had this one ever since. That's 56 years, yeah.
56 years of basketball, Dan.
That's
Joe Gross, what a fan. He's seen some good ones, some great Farrell teams, great Farrell players over the years.
I guarantee nobody messes with his seat either.
Or should they? Farrell on offense. Quentin McLean double teamed as Oakhill in the trap again. Joe Evans back in at the point position for Farrell. Coach Cannone not happy with the development of the play. McLean pulls up and sticks the jump shot, though. And drilled it. Lead to 12.
It's always nice when the offense isn't working. Just hit the 15-footer.
4.5 minutes to play in this one. It's a 12-point game. Oakhill with the basketball. McKinnis calls for the pick from Adai and gets it. Now notice Stackhouse and back outside. 3-point attempt, no good. Stackhouse follows with emphasis.
But again, they force the bad shot. You know, they're giving up the 20-footers. They're just getting killed on the offensive board.
You can see why Dean Smith wants that fellow, huh? Royster outside for Farrell. Evans. McLean. Takes it to the baseline, dishes. Summers one-hander, short. Oakhill running again. Stackhouse wrapped up by Art Page.
Coach Cannone emphasizing that you have to get back. And he's right. The point guard's responsible for the backcourt.
And to emphasize this point, Brian Multari checks in and replacing Joe Evans in the Farrell lineup. Multari wearing number 14.
It's another way of making your point is by substituting.
How's that for a way of making a point? For two, as the case may be. Jerry Stackhouse.
All of a sudden, it's a 16-point game again.
Terry has it taken by McInnes. His first dunk of the night.
Coach Smith is smelling the kill. He's calling his troops up.
And Farrell's going to push the issue. Nice behind the back dish from Royster to Summers.
That was blocked, too.
It's a 66-50 game. Oakhill leading. Stackhouse walks it up. Takes him one-on-one.
Offensive foul.
3 seconds.
Offensive foul. Here's the last. Go behind the back. Let's see if he tips this on the way in. Maybe a little bit, huh?
Real close. Art Humphreys tells us that Stackhouse already has 21 points in this game. He has the block there. As Oakhill is back on offense. The basket's going to go to Jermaine Smith, the foul to Art Page from Farrell. But his team only has 68 points, and Stackhouse already has 21 here.
I'd venture to say about 14 of those are off dunks. He really hasn't hurt them with his outside shooting tonight. It's the dunks that are killing him.
Alex Sanders back into the Oakhill lineup. Alan Davis back into the Farrell lineup along with Rico Shannonhouse. Here comes Big Mark Blunt, the 6'11 sophomore, back in for Oakhill.
And I venture to say that Farrell gave it their last shot.
68-50 the score, with Smith at the foul line.
I think they might have expounded all the energy they had left when they cut it to 12 and to 10.
Made their run. They certainly think, we've seen the list. This team has blown out a lot of teams this year. Only 2 teams have really given them a ball game. School from New York City, Brother Rice. They beat them by 5 in Las Vegas. And St. John's of Prospect Hall, Maryland, a 4-point win for Oakhill over them in a tournament over in Hawaii. How would it take to play for this high school team?
We never made it to Hawaii when I played.
How about Las Vegas?
We made it to Keystone Oaks. And
that's a scenic trip in itself. Rico Shannonhouse.
This is another level we're seeing tonight. And without getting into the controversy of whether they recruit or whether coaches hide players there, we'll leave that to the sports writers. We'll just appreciate the art of the basketball they're playing right now.
How about the art of that, Alan Davis?
How did he miss that?
But the best part about it is that Chris Summers was there to follow it in. I think he dunked it so hard it went in and came back out again.
3 seconds.
On Blunt. Turnover. It's a 69-52 Oakhill lead. Whit McLean wants to go one-on-one. Takes Jermaine Smith, reverse. Can't get it. Shannonhouse was there for the rebound, but Smith pulls it away.
Was a little bit off balance.
McLean with the steal, and Smith the foul. Farrell kids are playing for their honor right now.
I tell you what, and they have a ton of honor because they have not backed down 1 minute in this game. It's simply a case, I think I told you at halftime, it's like a flyweight going against a heavyweight. It's nothing but physical superiority of Oakhill.
Summers, the high archer, doesn't go for him that time. Oakhill looks to expand that 17-point lead. A minute and a half to play. Stackhouse for 3. Makes it an even 20. It's 72-52. Shannonhouse tries to answer.
Again, I think you're just seeing that Farrell's getting tired. Their shots are falling short.
Cheap steal. Nice play by Alan Davis for Farrell. With that, 1:18 to play. It's a 20-point game. We'll be back with more right after this. This game has been brought to you in part by JJ's Lighthouse on Division Street in Sharon. Stop in for their world-famous fish sandwiches on Wednesday and Friday, or grab one of their delicious steak sandwiches. That's JJ's Lighthouse, Division Street in Sharon. And we're back. 72-52, Oakhill leads it. Rico Shannon House to Alan Davis. And Smith tried to knock it away there and go for the easy one, but it'll go over and stay with Farrell. Oakhill sending Vincent Luther and Jason Thomas back into their lineup. Sylvain Reed, wearing number 34, checks into the Farrell lineup.
Crowd appreciative as Stackhouse checks out, as well they should be.
Stackhouse leaves the game with 26 points in the game lead in that category. Quentin McLean has it stripped but fights and
sweet shot.
Gets the basket for Farrell. Quite a player, Quentin McLean.
He is quite a player because he fits right in with these guys, you know.
McKinnis called for the hesitation dribble there and the travel. Got a replay of
Look at the touch.
McLean. Look at the up over the big fella, Blunt. You're 6'2", shooting over a guy 6'11". It's something. There's McLean for three. Didn't get it, and Blunt clears it. Oakhill on the run. Sanders down low, hammered by Rico Shannonhouse. You know, look there at the Oakhill bench, and head coach Steve Smith in his eighth season, the man in the brown coat there in the middle. It doesn't look like he could have coached anywhere for 8 years. He's so young.
No, he doesn't.
Sanders, in fact, almost came to Pittsburgh last summer. Paul Evans offered him a job, decided to stay where he is. I think I'd stay there too. He's got a 92% winning percentage over those 8 years.
A couple of former Oakhill alumni who played at Pitt, including Shorter.
Yeah, Brian Shorter. Chris McNeil playing there now.
This hasn't been a walk in the park for Oakhill, though. They had to come to play tonight. Farrell has not backed down. They've challenged them at several different times in this game.
This is McLean with 20 seconds to play. Shannonhouse from the corner. Short Sylvain Reed, that was. His shot no good. Sanders answers at the other end for Oakhill. 76-54 the score as the clock ticks down. Alan Davis finally gets his dunk. And that's going to end it. It's a 20-point win for the Oakhill Academy Warriors. 76-56 over the Farrell Steelers. But then, as we said, a very well-played game by the Farrell Steelers. It does nothing to compare with the 96-8 win. 96-8, this team actually beat someone. Big John Battle of Virginia. Here's Davis's dunk here to finish the game and give him a little sense of satisfaction from tonight's ball game.
Tell you what, Sean, to be honest with you, coming in tonight, I expected about a 40-point, 35-point game. Farrell has nothing to be ashamed of. This was a great learning experience for them, and they can hold their heads up high when they walk out of the gym tonight.
Quite an experience it was. Here at Farrell's, you're going to look at the Farrell cheerleaders for the first time tonight. Take a look at the little post-game routine. We're going to take a break here. We'll be right back to go over this final thoughts of this ball game and our stats from Art Humphreys as Oakhill Academy has beaten Farrell 76-56.
Now,
Welcome back to Farrell's E.J. McCluskey Gymnasium, where Dan Donahoe, this is Sean Doherty, Dan Donahoe and I just watched, and you did at home, of course, watch Farrell lose to Oakhill Academy 76-56. Crowd still milling around in awe here in this gymnasium. In fact, one of the fans just came up and asked me for a pen so he could get an autograph. This game has been brought to you in part by JJ's Lighthouse on Division Street in Sharon. Stop in for their world-famous fish sandwiches on Wednesday and Friday, or grab one of their delicious steak sandwiches. That's JJ's Lighthouse, Division Street in Sharon. Okay, Dan, let's take a look at these final statistics as Art Humphreys put them together. He burned out a couple calculators here tonight.
You can see Farrell improve their shooting percentage in the second half, John. They're close to the 50% mark. But what stands out is just what we saw, the rebounds, 40-15. I don't think there were too many times tonight where Farrell got an offensive rebound. It was pretty much one shot and out, and obviously that hurt them. For the scoring, Stackhouse led with 26, Smith with 12. The leaders for Farrell, Royster had 17, Summers 18, and McLean had 13.
I would have thought McLean had more than that. What a game. There's a good look at head coach Steve Smith.
Just another night at the office.
Academy team. Another night at the office, as you said. A 20-point win on the road in the legendary E.J. McCluskey Gymnasium.
You know, Sean, someone gave me the tie that Ed McCluskey wore in the last state championship for Farrell. Didn't bring them the luck that they needed, but still a fine performance by the Farrell Steelers
Well, maybe
tonight.
you should have worn it.
Yeah.
I would have done it, maybe. Okay, it's been fun for us. I'm going to thank you for watching. Thank you for watching, and we want to thank these folks you're going to see here coming up on the screen. For our producer-director, Joe Magnu,